this life is not only about sunshine and moving upwards, because there's also some beauty in the rain. It's just that the mindset sometimes nowadays is differently. But the more it happens like this, they come to the temple, they come because of training. And what they get is training.
Today, I have an unseen conversation with Master Shi Heng Yi. The footage has never been shared before. This conversation has never been heard before. And it talks about how he shares his message to reach you guys around the world and throughout his temple. Today's video, as always, is powered by Huel. Today, I'll be drinking their Black Edition, which has 35 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and is ready to drink in a bottle. And it is now stocked in the US and most of the UK's major retailers. So grab a bottle of ready to drink Black Edition down below. Let's jump into the video.
We're in this beautiful setting in the middle of Germany, but where are we and like what is a temple?
So we are right now located in a small city which is called Otterberg. It is close to Kaiserslautern. Maybe international people, maybe they know this city because there is Ramstein Air Base, which is a very big American military base, very close located to here. And now, we are very lucky that we are here at the Shaolin Temple in Europe, which is like a Buddhist monastery. And I told you before already that we were very, very lucky that we were able to take over this place, because as you see, it's like really quiet. We have no cars, no highways anywhere around. That's romantic for the picture. Yes, and that monastery was established now in 2011 is when we started moving here. So that is like 11 years right now, trying to share this type of knowledge that we just think it's not much that somebody really must understand about it, because it's about the practice. But in the moment where you get a glimpse in which direction actually is all these teachings pointed, then eventually people ask, so what is the purpose of the Shaolin teachings? What is the purpose of establishing such an organization? At the end of the day, it's just increase your own life quality, and after your life quality is good enough that you live a satisfying life, show the way to others. That is like the main part, because as long as you still have people out there running around being unsatisfied, being unfulfilled, well, that's what I think is one of the main reasons why you always run again into different type of conflicts. Because if you have a person who is filled already, if he doesn't need anything more, he's not a troublemaker. See? So that is like, in a way, our contribution a little bit. We try as good as we can. And at the same time, in the past, I was also traveling quite a lot, spent in different cities, living there also. But meanwhile, I have to say there's something appealing to it. Waking up in the morning and then you have this type of setup,
I can imagine.
Because that just slows everything down, and automatically you start to think about other things. And this is why from time to time we have our guests coming that then come from big city life suddenly over here where they don't even have like mobile signal. See? And then it already triggers something. And if this external image or this external view starts to change, merge together with the different practices, with the internal practices, let's say, the different theories that go hand in hand with it, this is the way how we try to share this knowledge that the people better understand. They need to experience it. There are some things it's extremely hard to explain. And this is like the main idea. So slowly introducing people to things that maybe they have no experience yet. And because they have no experience, we think there are many things that once you get a glimpse of that, it is existing. something about the view upon life changes in you. And this you can take from that small place over here, out in the world, wherever you are. And that is the main goal.
Okay, so you get, there's cars, I mean, it's busier than it was last year.
Yeah. So right now, for example, we had a weekend retreat going on. And a weekend meaning they're staying for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and with a specific topic. And this topic in the last 3 days, it was meditation. So what we are introducing the guests to is like the different methods, like we were drinking at the tea table, that I said, you can put your intention in everything. You just need to find a meditation object, we call it. So, and this is what we introduce to the people, because meanwhile, Shaolin is quite famous in this world, but still people are mostly relating it maybe to the martial art practices, yes, which is 100% and without a doubt it's an essential practice, yes. But at the same time, there are many people out there. They never want to become martial artists. They have no intention of learning how to hurt another person. They have no intention to fight in sports competition. They have no intention of competing against other people or anything like this. But nevertheless, the special part is that for us in the monastery, we are using the mindfulness. We are using the understanding of the Buddhist teachings. We are using all of this in order to make ourselves become the best version that like we can become, physically and mentally. For us, the one that really live here and represent the Shaolin Temple, well, you need to compete one day. You need to show off. Show off in terms of, if you studied so many years, you need to show that some skills come out from it, not just by talking. But the way how we get to these type of levels, the methods, the principles that we use to get there, this is what for the majority of people that are coming to visit us can still be helpful, because they are using the same principles, but just apply them in another, let's say, area of their life. It must not be martial art. It's just us. We use this knowledge and use it for the martial art. But there are other people coming. It's different, no? Some people use it for cooking. It's the same idea when you cut something. Either you cut unconsciously or you know exactly when the blade is cutting into the vegetable. You can feel it if your intention is there. And it is this type of understanding that no matter what you do, you play tennis, you're connected all the time. You never have a slack. There's no slack in there. And this is like the main idea. Yeah. And yes, so that's why we have people interested sometimes purely in Buddhist teachings. Other people want to know more about Confucianist teachings. Some people are interested in the healing aspects or in the way how can I learn to regenerate, recover myself quicker, and learn different massage techniques. So the variety is like really big, because actually at the end it only involves actually these are all the methods that don't cost any way, that don't cost any money except for the time investment that you put into it. But you need to get to the methods. And this is the special part, that even if people nowadays know what they want, but from where do you get it? And this is also like one part where I say, many of the things that nowadays in 2022 we have available at this monastery is because there are many people over here who worked since 25, 30 years in that whole organization in order to bring this type of knowledge back here. Yes? And that means what we partly are offering now to the public is that it's condensed 30 years of knowledge like this in an hour, you know? And sometimes people don't value this. And that's in a way then a really pity, yeah? but just like that it raises the awareness a little bit. Knowledge just doesn't come just flying around. It took quite some effort that we could get to the point where we are right now, including what type of training methods we're using. Yes, and there I have to say things also for me really started to add up, because I think approximately 5 or 6 years ago I also reached like a point in my training, let's say, where I felt like, okay, I'm really now almost 29 years practicing this Shaolin style, let's say, but I was always asking myself, but is that it? Yeah, so where is it about all the spiritual development in it? And where is it about like the extraordinary things? And I was asking, so should I continue just doing that type of stuff for the rest of my life now? And so what happened then is that I started to make some research in the field of martial arts, also watching into other martial arts systems, and therefore started to travel the world, let's say. And yeah, it's not a secret that many people know me, because I showed up on some places just to see how are they training and what is it that they're teaching. And I saw many very extraordinary abilities. But for me, at the end, it still didn't resonate really well, until I found that one master. That is the one I told you, is the one from Taiwan. And he, first of all, he brought back so much knowledge back to this temple that in a way we were looking for. And at the same time, he's also like a library of martial arts, yeah? So, yes. So almost when I wanted to give up, the answers came.
If you lead a busy life like me and millions of other people around the world, you might be struggling to get your nutrition in. That's where this stuff comes in, absolutely clutch. If health was easy, everyone would be doing it. But Shu make it that easy. You scoop, you shake, and you go, and you get 26 vitamins and minerals, and every single ingredient inside this and all of Shu's other products has been expertly tested by their team to make sure you're getting exactly what you need. And if I'm really in a pinch for time, I'll grab their ready to drink, which has 35 grams of protein, 26 vitamins and minerals, and tastes delicious. Don't just take my word for it though. People like Idris Elba, diver CEO Stephen Bartlett, and hardest geezer who ran the entire length of Africa use this as part of their daily routine. So if you want to find out more, go to the link down below. You can get exclusive offers, like if you sign up to their subscription service, you get 10% off all future orders, and if it's your first time ordering, you get a free shaker and t-shirt. It's also now available in major retailers in the UK and the US. What are you waiting for? Go get it.
It's the middle of winter. It's probably a couple of degrees right now. It's cold, it's raining, and you've got people training outside. It sounds like it's the norm. Like, what is there a mindset thing to that as well, about like mentality? And is this quite standard practice for Shaolin Temple Europe to have people practicing in the rain or the snow, whatever it is?
Well, let's say we turn it in such a way that training outside, there's no excuse why not to do it, regardless whether it's raining or whether we have snow or not. So on the one side, of course, it builds the mindset, because normally everybody wants to have a comfortable place, a comfortable gym, where you are dry, where you're warm, and all of these things. But this life is not like, it's not called, you can wish yourself something. Sometimes you're confronted in this life with things, it's not up to you to decide. And that's something like this. First of all, is something small. It's really just the weather. Of course, I take care if the people then start to sweat, for example. Yeah, and I don't want them to get sick. Okay. Then, of course, I take care of something like this. But at the moment, all of them, there's no reason why not to train with the rain. They are not soaked yet, for example. Yes, and that also like reduces this idea what I said also previously, this life is not only about sunshine and moving upwards, because there's also some beauty in the rain. It's just that the mindset sometimes nowadays is differently. But the more it happens like this, they come to the temple, they come because of training. And what they get is training, regardless of weather. So, and the second truth to all of this, why we train outside, is because so far we just don't have a small gym that we can train in. It is on the plan. This is also one of the reasons why we need to finance all of this, because of course in the future some people still understand that this mentality is what we want to develop, but at the same time, the bigger now, the more known we also become, and the more people come that are, for example, not interested in the martial arts. I think for them it should also be, in a way, a possibility, if they want to participate, that they have a chance to do so. And not everybody is willing to go through that type of treatment, you know. And yes. Yeah, and let's just take, for example, this exercise. Yeah, if I look at it, it's a kick. Okay, it is something that if you train it often enough, put some intention and some proper training into it, with this one you can hurt somebody. Okay, but at the same time, how many muscle groups, how many joints, and which muscles, for example, and what type of senses of the body, balance, I mean, is involved in order to just keep on repeating that movement. And so what I mean is that we can still use this movement for all these people, even though nobody of them has the intention to ever kick someone. Because it's not about the kicking. It's about what is it that makes this movement useful as a kick one day. And that is your ability and sense of balance of your own body. That's one of the things. And the way, how are you connecting the different muscle groups? Which one connects first and which one, where is the ending part of this connection? And this is what we then call, that is like, sometimes you can call it moving therapy. Something like this, yeah? So it's really being based outside in the nature, breathing in fresh air, doing some movements where your whole body is integrated into the practice. This is already for the majority of people the point that this is not about fighting. It's about health. It's about connecting, reconnecting. Just for a minority, a small group, it's still about fighting.
What type of lessons and teachings do you lead yourself?
So we have so many guests meanwhile that
this is the leg, it's not red, left, right.
On the one side I'm starting to, for example, delegate some of the exercises and routines to my disciples, to the disciples and master students. So if you have groups coming, for example, of guests, I don't always start teaching everyone the alphabet from the beginning. You know? So the basics, I sometimes let them be taught by my master students, and then the disciples, the one that stay here for longer time, because they already have an understanding of the body, they know themselves to a certain degree, and they understand if I give an instruction what I want from them. Then it's quicker. Yeah, because it's really similar, like if you have a university professor, you don't need a professor to teach the alphabet in elementary school. Yes, this is not about judging what is good or bad. It's just that we all have limited lifetimes, and it is good to have people who already have a certain that are already advanced, let's say, a little bit. If then you can give them the right instructions, people grow very quickly.
Switch.
And this is like the main idea. But of course now, for example, Xiao Shen, he's teaching them. Yeah. And
Shift. Up. Switch.
so mainly I take care of my direct disciples, mainly.
Okay.
And in.
But also,
And go.
whenever I'm here, I always show face normally. So
Wow. So later on, did you say there was something going on inside?
it is actually right now already going on
Okay.
inside the Buddha hall. It is like the interviews for the disciples that are applying. So like really, this is like the first stage of selection, you know,
Right. Okay.
because you're not freezing or anything.
No, I'm fine.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because in the very beginning, 2011, when we started to move here, the very first announcement, let's say, to find people who, let's say, want to live this type of life,
Okay, relax.
was that we called out directly for novices, which meant it was the announcement in a way, if you want to become a novice of the Shaolin Temple, then they can apply and then they can come here and being educated. And there were many young people who then applied also. And some of them stayed 3 years, some of them stayed 4 years. But what then happened, in 2011 they came, 2015, 16, all of them left. Yeah, out of various reasons. So what it meant for us was we invested 5 years into educating them, giving them everything, the training, the methods, the theory, everything. And then 2015, 16, they suddenly were gone. And again, more or less the core of this monastery was again starting from zero. Yes? So, and therefore we thought, okay, in order to prevent this to happen in the future, maybe we need to at least try to have a better way of how do we select the people with the potential to maybe one day follow up and take over that whole thing and be the successor of all of this. And therefore we said, okay, it's impossible for a young person with the age of 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 to decide that he knows already what he wants for the rest of his life. It's an illusion. Okay? So therefore we said, okay, first of all, if somebody wants to apply to come here as a student for long-term discipleship, first of all, he needs to come here for 1 week at least and live and see how it is for 1 week. Afterwards, we're going to invite him to stay with us here for 1 more week. Then
One more time.
he joins this interview right now. And afterwards, he has 1 month's time to stay with us 30 days. And if after those 30 days, he still thinks, yes, that is a way I can imagine to live, then first of all, he's accepted as a disciple for 1 year, limited to 1 year.
So, to start.
Yes. If he
I show you how. Just watch.
finishes that 1 year,
Go shift.
he has the possibility to extend for a second year.
Point.
But then after
Punch.
those 2 years, now actually should come the decision. Do you now really want to become a novice? Which means your education in terms of Buddhist knowledge, in terms of Buddhist ceremonies, traditions and rules will become more intensive. Or at the same time, either novice or a so-called master student,
One like this.
meaning you still learn everything about the theoretical and practices coming from these
Boom. One.
teachings like Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, but your main focus is to gain insight in the field of martial arts. So a master student, he wants to become a martial artist, still has the knowledge involved to understand the, let's say, philosophical backgrounds from here. So, and this is the way how we are now at the moment trying to go into the future,
This knee.
which means first you are a disciple for 1 year, then 2 years, then you take a little bit a more
From here.
a more serious, let's say, decision if you want to become a master student or a novice. Of course, at the end of the day, you can never force anyone to do anything. But at least for us, it gives a little bit this milestones, let's say, that we know, okay, he didn't even end the first year discipleship. How can he become a novice? How can he become a master student? How can he master something if he was not able to stay 1 year with something? And
How many people have you had come through who have wanted to be disciples, and how many do you have today? Like, how many make it to this point?
okay, so since 2011, the ones that stayed here in this monastery as long-term students, I would say approximately 30 to 35 in total. Yes. And out of all of them right now, we have 2 novices remaining and 1 master student.
Oh, wow.
Out of 35, 3. Yes. But as you know, it is out of 1,001. That is the statistics.
1,000.